Hi everyone, it's Carrie here from My Friends Call Me Martha, and it has been a while. It was hard to get back in the swing of things after vacation, but I am excited for the start of school tomorrow. The kids' backpacks are packed. I know what I'm making them for their lunches, and we're good to go. So today I'm going to share with you the paper pumpkin kit from August, as well as a project from the annual catalog using a different stamp set if you were one of the few people who may have missed out on getting the paper pumpkin for August. I will say it was probably one of the best paper pumpkin kits I have seen. So with that in mind, I also wanted to share with you, as part of my team, we are doing a special tutorial that we are going to give you as a paper pumpkin subscriber. So I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. So this is the tutorial, but let's see if this works. So kind of a sneak peek. You get 4 projects designed by that wonderful team right there. And it's really great. So one of our leaders, actually Jen Pitta-Bach, she usually does a scrapbook layout page. So if anybody is a scrapbooker, you'll love what she does. And then Donna and Christine do cards, and then I usually try to do like a 3D project. So it's a great little tutorial that you get on top of your paper pumpkin kit for subscribing through me, or if you are working with one of those demonstrators, you will get it from them too. So with the paper pumpkin kit, if you subscribe now before September 10th, you will get the September box, which is going to have a Halloween theme. Oh my goodness, I was like, so it's going to be Halloween and then Christmas, and then I forget what the other sneak peek was. So I highly recommend that you guys subscribe to the paper pumpkin. They've just gotten better and better, and it's amazing what you get for, I think it's under $30. I forget what the full cost is with shipping. I get a discount because I am a demonstrator, but you get a stamp set. This month we actually got 2 ink spots, so it's a great way to add some color to your collection if you don't have a lot of ink. You usually get adhesive, so here's a little pack of dimensionals, some glue dots, and then I've already mounted my stamps so we can do a project from here. And you'll see this month we got 3 cards, so 9 cards total. They give you a nice instruction book, but this one I actually am going to make this kit go spread it out over more cards, because the card bases, you'll see. So again, you get pretty decorative envelopes. I mean, like seriously, they're like so pretty I don't even want to use them. I'm also tempted to cut the envelopes and use that as like my card layer. So that is something you can do that's creative. We got 3 of these beautiful sheets. And then we got a bunch of these honeycomb gold foil, which these also you could do if you have like a blending brush. Let me show you what a blending brush is. You can put ink on it, and then you could, well, maybe that's what I'll show you guys how to do. Hold, my brain is working as I do this here. You get a bunch of die cuts. There were these cute little vellum honeycombs. Got some sunflower layouts, some flowers, a bunch of bumblebees. And then here's your card bases. So again, I feel like I would rather split this and get 2 card bases because that's just me being frugal and wanting my supplies to last. So literally all of them you could cut in half and make, if you have white cardstock, and make more cards than what you have. So I'm going to kind of pick one of the ones to do for you. I'm going to use one of these die cuts. I'm going to use that, and I think I'm just going to get a white card base. So again, oh yeah, you can see I already cut this one in half. I am going to make this last. So one of the things I was thinking about, just to show you guys, with blending brushes, We do have like masks that you can buy. They're just like a heavier plastic. But what I like to do is at least secure this with a some washi tape. Oh my goodness. Where is the washi tape? Here we are. I'm telling you, everything is harder on camera. And just to keep it in place. Again, you don't want to go like super rough because you don't want it to jump around or it's going to lose the effect. And I'm putting the washi tape so that I'm not affecting the image. And I keep these ink spots and give them with little gifts to my customers because I have all of the full kits. So I'm going to use the crushed curry. And let me see if I have a different blending brush. So with my blending brushes, I try to keep them in like the same color family. So this one has green on it already. So I'm going to use like my greens and my blues, and I'm going to start a new one. I actually don't use them as much as I probably should. And you don't need a lot of ink. And I usually start off the paper so I can kind of see what strength it is. Because it really just depends on how much you put on this initially. And I'm going to kind of go for the look where like I'm not going to do it all the way evenly across the whole thing. And if you weren't sure how much you got down, you can take a peek, but it has the chance of moving again. So I just kind of did it. It kind of gives that like ombre where it's really dark initially. Oh, you can see here I kind of like messed up. So what I would do is probably cut this and make it a base instead of being the whole card. But let's see if this this is going to cover it anyways. So we're just going to stick this on here with just some tape adhesive. I want to put it right side up. So I want that sunflower to be front and center. It's really, you know what? It's really bothering me that I got like the corner. So I'm just going to get a new card base. Could even do a colored card base. See if I have. Well, I don't have crushed curry handy. Just going to put that on there, and then this little die cut, I'm going to use the sentiment that says for a one-of-a-kind. I can't even read this. Oh, my friend, I think. Sorry, my eyesight is going. I don't know if any of you are in the over 40 club, but I have to go to the eye doctor because I think I need a higher prescription strength in my glasses. And I love the photopolymer stamp sets because you can kind of see and you can know if your text is straight or not. And then I'm going to put this on with 2 dimensionals. Again, I'm going to save this little thing because I do little kits for my customers and they always love getting a little pack of dimensionals. And just because I'm winging it, let me grab. I am going to be fancy. And I am going to add a little gold. So this is a fun technique that you just kind of like weave the ribbon every which way. There's no right, there's no wrong. And it just adds a little bit of interest. So there we go. So that's an alternative. If you have the paper pumpkin kit, you can be creative. I do love this kit. It was just amazing. So for those of you who may not have this kit, let me just put my ink pads away so I don't make a mess. In our annual catalog, on page 35, we have this Celebrate Sunflowers, and I have probably had this stamp set whenever it first came out. I bought it because I loved it and never used it. So I did bring it out because I was inspired by the paper pumpkin this month. And there are coordinating dies for this. So it's Celebrate Sunflowers. And there's also dies that go with it. And one of the cards that I just made is this one here. So it's really quite simple. And I popped up the first layer with dimensionals as well as my sunflower. So I'm going to show you guys how I quickly made that card. Just push this stuff aside. Okay. So I used a crushed curry card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, and I score my cardstock at 4.25. I just find it makes it so much easier to line it up and have a straight card. So I take the extra time to do that when I'm cutting, and it works out really great. This paper is from, let me grab it. It is called the Celebrate Everything, which I believe is a host set of paper, but it is awesome. It has all of the seasons, lots of great, I love those trees. That's probably going to be the next thing that I work on. I want to go back to Christmas cards. So just some really great fun paper. And this one has the stars, which again, this side is great for Halloween, but I loved this yellow plaid. So what I did with this, I also used, this is Early Espresso Faux Suede Trim. And if you know me, I don't like to waste supplies. So the way I love to wrap ribbon around a card is to simply just do a little tuck on this side here, and I tape it down with Scotch tape. So if you do not have Scotch tape in your craft room, highly recommend it. Because to go all the way around with a piece of ribbon, you're wasting like 4 inches of like really good ribbon. And then what you could do, I didn't do it on this card, but I'm going to do it on this one, is you can tie a little fake knot, or you could tie a bow, whichever you like. I tend to do knots a lot because it's just easy and it's not so fussy, especially when I'm on camera. Just be careful you don't, I will tell you guys, there are times that I've like cut the ribbon in half and I'm trying to cut the little tails off. So be careful. Another trick, I have been driving myself crazy with how to organize my ribbon. I finally went and bought pins, and I just kind of stick it in there and just, it holds my ribbon so they don't unravel, especially when they fall. The only thing I'm concerned about is my dog sometimes takes my ribbon. So I have to be really careful about putting it back in the shelf where it belongs. So like I said, I'm going to raise up this layer with dimensionals. Normally for something I just do 4, but I feel like because it is a larger piece, I do 8. So I know it seems a little wasteful, but if the card is going through the mail, you probably want to just add a couple extra just to make it so that it will not go flat. Promise you I'm going to get to stamping in a minute. If you're watching the replay, feel free to just fast forward through this. Okay, so I'm going to start with stamping my sentiment, and again I used Early Espresso. And I cut this extra long just so I could give myself. So I'm just going to cut this end straight. And this one I'm going to do at an angle. You could also do a banner end. And right now my crafting supplies are all packed away because I am going to a crop this weekend. So all my normal supplies are packed away. So I like using my banner punch, but when you don't have a banner punch, you can cut up the middle and then cut on an angle towards that middle. So that's one way, or cut on an angle and it looks just as good. Now for our sunflower, we are going to use crushed curry. Bigger stamp sets, it's sometimes easier to put your ink pad over. Now the hardest part for me in making this card was to figure out how the die matched up. So you guys will see me fumble along trying to figure that out. I also just want to stamp. I'm going to do my leaves. On this one I used Evening Evergreen and I felt like they were a little too dark. So I'm going to go with something lighter. This one is Pear Pizzazz. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so first off, I'm going to use washi tape to kind of hold this in place, and I'm going to get another piece ready for my big sunflower. So when I'm cutting multiple things, I will take the time to sometimes secure them with washi tape, especially with this sunflower. You just don't want it to move. So let's see. So I literally played this game. There's probably a trick, and I probably should YouTube because somebody probably figured out the trick, but I have not figured it out. No. Oh, I got it, I think. Yes, okay. So I literally just go around and around until I figure it out, and then I just want to make sure that it's kind of even so that it's going to leave like the nice white and not cut off another part. And I'm using my mini boss. I don't think that's the real technical name, but that's what I call it. So I highly recommend getting a die cutting machine. Many of our dies will fit on the smaller machine. I probably would recommend getting the bigger one just because you won't be limited to what you can cut out or emboss with it. And I apologize for the shaking. This one is great, but even for my crop weekend, I'm bringing my big one, so I don't really have to think about, okay, which dies work with the small machine, which ones don't. In the catalog, it actually specifies. So let me show you how you can figure it out. So even on the embossing folders, it has like the little mini symbol with the picture of the machine. So they do that. So obviously these bigger embossing folders, they're more than 3.5 inches. So you need the big machine. And then I think they do, oh yes, they do the same for the die cuts. So it shows you that they'll work on the mini machine, and like this one won't because of this die right here is not going to fit in the mini. So the catalog does detail that out. But like I said, if you can splurge, I would recommend the bigger one. I thought I would use the small one when I go to a crop, but then I'm like, I don't want to have to think about, I literally pack up majority of my craft room because I feel like if I don't bring everything, I'm gonna want the one thing I didn't bring. So although this year I'm trying to focus mainly on starting a Christmas album, I'm actually going to be scrapbooking our Christmas cards. So if you've watched my videos before, you'll hear I like hardly ever scrapbook, and I'm just intimidated by the whole process, not knowing kind of where to start. And I have 2 kids, so like, do I create a combined album or do I? So at the last crop I went to, I was focusing on making cards like I normally do, and the woman behind me was scrapbooking her Christmas cards, and I was like, oh my god, that is something I could handle. So I went through my house and I found I had one, if not two, leftovers of every card I have done. Because I do like a front and back, I have it printed through Shutterfly. So I wanted two so that I could show the front and back. So that's what I'm going to be working on. So I will post some pictures this week. And if you follow me on Facebook, you will see those. All right, so come on, Mr. Ribbon. Oh my goodness, I should have put it. Okay, here we go. Now we need some mini glue dots for our leaves. I feel like the leaves might get a little lost now that I've done the bow compared to this one. Maybe if I just put them like over here, a little bit further down. Eve, if you could stay quiet. She loves to make noise when I'm on a video. It's like, and then I'm just going to line that up. Oh my goodness. All right. So kind of two different versions. And anyways, so that's it for this video. I thank you. If you could like, if you could subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. Leave me a comment. I love hearing what you guys are saying. Oh, I just realized I forgot to do my inside. So for this one, I actually used the stamp set from my paper pumpkin. It has the little middle where the stamp set for this one doesn't have it. But you could also use a marker, which I brought. So I'm going to use probably the fat end, and I'm just going to kind of like, yeah, see, I don't know if I like it colored. I feel like I just kind of messed up my card, but you could do something like that. And then what I was thinking is using some of these mini little champagne rhinestones. Okay, come on, stick. Oh my goodness. Trouble with this. So this is the take your pick tool that normally works really awesome, but because I'm doing a video today, it is not working very well. I don't know. What? So there's wreath. All right, let's try a fresh piece. Huh, I wonder if they don't stick or something when there's marker used. That don't make sense. But I can't say that I've used a marker and then wanted to stick rhinestones. Looks like there's a little putty left on that end. Okay, so that's one option. On this one here, I just used the Wink of Stella, which gives it a little bit of a shimmer, and it's very hard to see on camera. But you could do that. So anyways, here are my two final cards. So again, thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, all of those wonderful things help me. So I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all real soon.